Tyla is not black. Let's talk about it. Race in the United States is not the same as in South Africa. That's why many Americans were shocked to find out Tyla doesn't identify as black.
Wake that ass up early in the morning. The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, just hilarious. Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building.
Yes, indeed.
We have Tyla.
Tyla. Hello.
Hey, Tyla. School me on these debates that they be having about your identity as a South African colored person. What does that even mean?
Can we not? Por favor.
Oh, I like that. We keeping that in the interview too. I like when they talk from the back.
She referred to herself not as black, but she referred to herself as colored.
We're in America now, boo. And you will get fucked up, okay? And you will get cursed out.
It's so funny how y'all are calling Americans entitled because we're asking for some simple respect in our country. I don't know if they have this saying in South Africa, but in the United States, we have a saying. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. And if you can't figure out what that means wherever you are, you got to respect the culture of wherever you're at. Y'all tell us to educate ourselves about colored, but y'all didn't educate yourselves about the history of the word colored in this country, the country that Tyla is trying to do business in.
But you're not entitled to that.
I want to be so personal with you without even actually knowing.
But I feel like your race or what you identify as, if you're expecting that group of people to come behind you, I think that yes, we don't have to know if you're dating. We don't have to know if you're having a baby. We don't have to know if you have a close relationship with your mom. But someone asking, or that they're wanting to know about her, Tyla addressing her blackness or speaking out about, truly being black, that is not something that really should be kept under wraps. Like, we need to know.
She already addressed it.
She did.
Even though she's literally already said what she is.
She said what she is, but even with her saying what she is in South Africa, maybe that's clear, but you're now catering to the masses of a majority American audience. Yeah. And we also have, battled a lot of racial stigmas and things, in our own communities.
Tyla barely sold freaking 4,000 copies in her first week for her new EP. Because of the disrespect she displayed towards black American people. To everyone in the diaspora that keeps disrespecting black Americans, what have we learned from this? What have we learned from this? I'll tell you, nothing moves and nothing shakes without black Americans.
Has black America got its revenge on Tyla for denying her blackness? But did she really deny it or say who she is colored according to her South African racial identity? Tyla's new 2025 album is said to have flopped because black Americans have refused to accept her.
Real reason Tyla is flopping.
Tyla, your album flopped because of your disrespectful South African fans. They thought after your record label spent all that money pushing you to the American market, right? And I actually like Push to Start and True for Dare. Those songs are actually cute when they come on in the club, to be honest. But your disrespectful South African fan base thought after your record company spent all that money to push you to America to get us to like you, which was another problem. We don't like to be told about anything. They're online being disrespectful. When you're trying to sell records.
So Tyla album bombed. 3.7. 3.7K is her opening, and y'all blaming black women.
What is a colored?
Tyla is colored. And some of you have an issue with that, so let's talk about it. This video of Grammy-nominated South African singer Tyla has been going viral for a lot of unfortunate reasons. Around 10% of South Africa's population is made up of the colored community. To be colored is to be mixed race.
Blackness in America is defined by the one-drop rule, where having just one recent black ancestor and certain facial features gives you this distinction. But in South Africa, concepts of race were influenced by apartheid. So, while indigenous South African groups are considered black and descendants of British and Dutch colonists are considered white, there's another group called colored. Colored refers to South Africans of mixed ethnicity, often descending from interracial couplings of Black Africans and white settlers. This also included South Asians until the end of apartheid. Tyla falls into this category because some of her heritage is Indian, Mauritian, and Zulu. Colored communities in South Africa have a distinct culture that's different from other racial groups in the country. And even though apartheid ended, the way South Africa thinks about race is still the same, with this thinking still ingrained into culture today.
How do most colors relate to black people in South Africa?
Police Minister has no strategy, has no vision. He's out of his depth, this man. He doesn't belong in his position. Bheki Cele is nothing but an affirmative action employee. That the police brigadier at the police station has been making racist remarks about the so-called colored people, likening us to baboons, dogs, animals, God knows what else.
Don't you like the ANC or don't you like the black ones?
I would say I don't like,
Be honest. You
I don't like the black people.
Why not?
Just because we were reared in...
It's like that. I don't like black people either.
There you go. So it's just you don't like black people. I don't like black people.
It's like me, I don't like... But you don't have a reason for it. Then it's just pure racism, no?
It's not racism. It is how we were reared that way. And you just don't like black people.
Are they so different? I mean, am I so different of you? Is a black man a woman so different of you?
Yes.
In which ways? Enlighten me.
They might have the education, they might have the money, they might have whatever. But the fact remains is they're still black.
So what? So what?
What? They're black. It's a... When I grew up as a young girl, we had apartheid era, and that is how we were reared. The white man, then the colored man, then the black man.
I actually must say that in South Africa, according to my experience, guys, colored people are more racist to black people than even white people. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't know how to explain it to you guys, but it is just like that. But for colored people, first things first, I must tell you, there is no colored. The reason why you're called colored, because there is something called black in you.
It was the word colored that threw off Black Americans. But in South Africa, colored is a formal racial classification, and for many, a proud cultural identity born from a messy cocktail of colonialism and apartheid. According to the BBC and Rolling Stone UK, Tyla identifies as having Zulu, Indian, Mauritian, and Irish roots. So she wasn't rejecting blackness, she was presenting her specific South African experience. But Black Americans weren't having it.
Tyla's album didn't flop because of Black Americans. Tyla's album is flopping because her fans essentially set her up for failure by being xenophobic, especially towards Black Americans, and claiming that we lack culture. After her using the term color to describe herself, a term that is frequently used for her specific ethnic group within South Africa, but is derogatory and roots from racism and slavery in America. Black Americans have single-handedly been the backbone for American music throughout Hollywood and mainstream media forever, essentially. And a lot of genres of music are rooted in Black American culture. So as a foreigner, to not educate yourself on how certain terms that may be familiar to you are not appropriate to use when you are going to another country.
In the U.S., the word colored drips with Jim Crow-era trauma. It evokes whites-only signs and segregated drinking fountains. Psychological studies on racial trauma show how language can reactivate generational pain. So while Tyla was trying to represent nuance, the U.S. heard a slur. Social media users dragged Tyla by those Bantu knots.
Bestie, you're so damn messy, girl. Oh, Lord, not dragged about the Bantu knots, child.
People accused her of trying to distance herself from blackness while profiting from it. Her braids and her beat drops were acceptable, but her refusal to simply say, "I'm black," made people suspicious. South Africans defended her, accusing Americans of ethnocentric thinking. But perception is personal, and the global stage doesn't come with cultural disclaimers. You don't get to explain your context in real time, and when you're silent too long, others will fill in the blanks for you. In April 2024, Tyla spoke to Cosmopolitan about the controversy. She said she was glad people were having the conversation around race and identity and learning that Africa is more than just black and white. She added, "Just that I grew up as a South African knowing myself as colored. I'm also mixed race. I'm also black." Cool, but fans weren't looking for philosophy. They wanted clarity. There's a psychological theory called cognitive dissonance. It says people get uncomfortable when they can't make sense of something. Tyla's explanation didn't bridge the gap between her intentions and her audience's interpretation. Instead, it deepened it. Her identity felt like a puzzle no one asked to solve.
Hence, I refer to myself as black by race and colored by culture, because the complication in colored communities and in colored families, especially when it comes to our phenotypes and how it is that some of us are lighter skinned and darker skinned, have coilier hair, etc., but also know that we have a black lineage or heritage within our bloodline. The safest option for me and the best option for me in a country like South Africa is to go with I am black by race and colored by culture, because really some of us are really genuinely just trying to figure out how to be black. Really, the rest is very complicated, and wow, yeah, no.
So then what's the correct term? Are you guys like identifying as black now, or some of you? Because you're not, and not in a you can't sit with us fashion, in a you do nobody, like you don't even do yourselves any justice by trying to erase who you come from. Like the mix of people that has created this very unique group of people, which is what you are. And if you just want to forgo this particular term and adopt one that feels like it's not, seeped in some white people bullshit, I'm okay with that. But I take great issue with like colored people deciding that they want to be black today. No. Like, and not even like you can't sit with us. No, you can sit. You just can sit with us while colored. Do you see?
Did black Americans know something about Coloureds of South Africa before Tyla? Why is being called colored in South Africa not offensive?
That some people will say to me, "Stephen, I'm not colored, I'm black." Mm-hmm. Some other people will say to me, "Well, I'm not black, I'm colored." Mm-hmm. And there's this huge sort of number of different distinctions. It means different things in different contexts. Some of those are quite slippery, but it's really important.
Yeah, exactly. So to call yourself colored is in itself a very tricky thing, right? Because you're taking on a history that is difficult, that is hard and painful. But Tessa and I both decided early on, in fact, without even talking, we just knew this is who we were, is that we call ourselves ethnically colored, but politically black. So ethnically, as in the way that you would be ethnically Zulu, ethnically Pedi, we are also ethnically colored because we have a shared identity, culture, history. But we are politically black because we have a shared political experience of what it means to be black, not only in South Africa but in the world. And that experience is one of oppression. It's a one of fighting against enslavement, colonialism, apartheid, and now in a post-apartheid South Africa trying to figure out what it means and how to take back this system that seems to have left us behind. And so we understand that there are people who reject the term. We understand that because, economically it didn't make sense. Colored people didn't want to be seen as black because of the way the apartheid system set up the whole system. What we're saying is, turn that system around. We know why and how the apartheid system created it, but let's turn it into something else. Instead of looking at the classification, which back in the day used to be other colored, Cape colored, FRICA, all those, and they actually had numbers. What we're saying to you is, take that back and turn it into something that should be celebrated. But how colored people have really turned that pain and that othering into something that is full of joy.
You don't just walk into Bavaria in Germany and then go, "I'm Bavarian." Other Bavarian people will go, "Really? Are you sure?"
I think you're from Saxony. It's a very Saxon accent, yes.
And to bring it home, so my mother is from a Zulu family, right? And so this weekend we went home to KZN to bury my aunt. And in as much as a lot of that is part of who I am, if I started saying I'm Zulu, people would go, "But you don't speak the language." and you don't know the customs, and you don't know the cultures, and all of that. And so for me, that's why it's important to not think about coloredness as a race, and to think about it as biology, but to start to think about it as a culture in which there are some shared customs and ways of being and experiences and memories that make it possible for you to claim that without having to think twice about it, and everybody will understand that. So I'm not going to ever tell people you can't use word X or word Y to identify yourself, but we all know there are consequences to being able to say, you know, I share in a particular culture. In that, do you really share in the norms and the values? Probably not. So I do think there are people who would struggle to use it just because I don't think that the experience is a shared one. So we talk in the book about Trevor Noah and this constant question about, is Trevor Noah colored? And our answer is no. And that's because Trevor Noah grew up in a household in Soweto, in Xhosa family, with his Swiss father somewhat there and somewhat involved in that. But in terms of a colored community and that colored shared set of experiences, no. And it's okay for him to not be part of that cultural experience. It doesn't take away from anyone to not be colored in that way or be able to claim it. But on the other hand, you should not feel shame for being able to claim it. And that's the part of the point.
You know, I grew up admiring to go to like South Africa because like as a Ugandan, before I even knew about outside countries of Uganda, like within Africa, but like Kenya, Rwanda, I would always admire Nigeria because I would see their movies. I would always admire South Africa. And then, you know, one thing I didn't know about South Africa, when it came to the news, I would always see white people in sports. I would always see like white faces a lot. So actually, before I even go to understand about how South Africa is or what it's about, I thought it's like white people only. Guys, I know it's like weird or bad for me to say this, but I should be honest. I did not think for once that South Africa had like a lot of black people. The only people that I knew were maybe Lucky Dube, the late Lucky Dube, Brenda Fassie, Mandela. But like I did not know that majority of South Africans are black people.
It seems that even continental Africans were confused by South Africa.
If black people do not like your rap, your R&B, your hip hop, your smooth whatever, your neo soul, your any of that, it ain't going nowhere. And this is what the music industry knows. Okay? So when you enter into America, we have to label you in a way that we understand as acceptable within this culture. All right? Because different cultures have different things that are acceptable. For Tyla and her team and for other South Africans, you wanted to come to America where racism, Jim Crow, lynching black people, all of these other things happened and was associated with the word colored, and you told us to get over it. You told us this is what we do over there, so y'all need to get over it. That's what y'all said. That's what y'all said. And Tyla thought that non-black people were going to support her based off of the sector of music that she wanted to go into. No, that's our space.
So I was actually waiting for the Breakfast Club interview to drop when she had it. And I remember when it dropped, I watched it literally as soon as it dropped. I watched it on YouTube, right? And when it got to that point of the interview, when he asked her about her identity and she turned and looked at him and didn't say nothing, I literally was like this watching the interview, because I was like, anything that she does after this interview is not going to hit right. Why? Because she just offended a culture that when they're offended, you're going to feel it, which is the black culture. When you offend black people, rub black people the wrong way, you will feel it. Whether people want to admit it or not, you will feel it. Then to top it all off, we live in a very much so got you culture over here in America. I don't know about anywhere else in the world, but over here in America, we definitely live in a I got you culture. And what I mean by that is if you do something that negatively rubs another group of people or an opposing side, what's going to happen is they're going to wait back, sit back for something horrific or bad or awful to happen to you. And then they're going to point it out, highlight it, and celebrate it. We've seen it with Target. Whenever their stocks go down or something like that, it's highlighted and talked about. We've seen it with Mooney Long. When she said what she said to the black women and things like that, now that we're not hearing music from her or anything like that, that's being highlighted and laughed at. Those poor kids over in Texas that got hit by that storm, when people found out that some of their parents voted for Donald Trump, they began to laugh and point at them people losing their kids. This is what we're seeing with Tyla. She said something that offended a community over here in the United States. She released the album in the United States. It didn't do well. Those same people that she offended is now standing back, highlighting it, pointing and laughing, saying, ha, ha, ha. You went from being looked at up to highly and, being looked forward to in the music industry to now there's people on a vast scale celebrating the downfall of your project that you put out.
The fact that Tyla only sold 3K units on her new album is actually hilarious to me, because when people were calling her an uppity African, she thought it was so cute to double down and put it in her bio and try to clock people thinking that she was going to come out on top. But girl, it don't work like that. The people is what hold you up. If you think you're going to step on people to get to the top, that's not how it works. Literally, it's us, fans, and people who support you. If you don't have no support, you're not going to keep going. What makes you think people want to listen to you if you're being a stink, mean girl vibes? It never gave that. And it's girl, you literally just came in the game. You don't have the status to give Mariah Carey, Nicki Minaj energy. No, it's not giving that. And then when she was at the Breakfast Club interview and she kept having her publicist or whoever oh, you can't ask her that, you can't ask her that. Girl, you literally just came out. Literally, you are not Mariah Carey, Beyonce, freaking Nicki Minaj, where you get to curate what questions people ask you. No, if you don't want to answer it, then you can say no comment or keep quiet. But you can't just be pointing at your publicist girl, you ain't no diva, and your numbers reflect that. Literally, the only 2 songs I know is her viral songs. I don't know no other song.
No, seriously, just today alone, y'all have called that girl an uppity asshole from sun up to sundown. Oh, no, seriously, why is my entire feed just people calling Tyla an uppity asshole and gloating about the fact that her album only sold 3K units? And then why is it black people playing victim as if y'all weren't the ones that tried to force that girl to assimilate to a culture that she is not a part of and claim an identity that she is not a part of? Y'all literally called that girl an uppity asshole and started to boycott her music successfully, apparently, because she kept trying to be I'm not black, I'm South African, I'm a native African. Black culture has nothing to do with me. I'm from Africa. Y'all literally, she was literally in the interview being asked about her experience being black. And she was trying to be I'm not black. I'm from Africa. I'm literally from South Africa. They never had a pretty girl from Joburg see me now, and it's what they prefer. And then y'all piss me off. Y'all over Thompson, and they blaming black women for her album tanking. Nobody said that. Hey, nobody said that. Hey, nobody said that. If only 3K albums sold, nobody talking about the album. So I know for a fact ain't nobody blaming anybody for why the album ain't do well. What are y'all talking about? This is the 3rd time just this week that y'all have shown me, that y'all have reminded me that the second biggest oppressor of the black community are other black people. What the fuck are y'all talking about? Can y'all leave that girl alone? Y'all clearly don't like her just because she's not a black American. But y'all, what? Hey, what y'all are doing is just bullying. Moreover, you know what y'all sound like? Y'all sound like white people that overhear Mexicans or Hispanics speaking Spanish, and y'all going over there hey, you're in America. You have to speak English. I'm sorry. That's just what we do over here.
3,700 first week sales is so embarrassingly bad that I would be surprised if we ever heard from Tyla in the United States ever again. Literally ever again.
Does Black America see a group that identifies as colored in South Africa as not its people? Do Coloureds understand blackness or struggle of black folk? Why is there a separate identifying factor between Africans and colored people in South Africa, while there are people who identify as Zulu or Pedi who are mixed? There are many so-called native blacks who look like Coloureds, while some Coloureds also look black. Keep in mind, too, that most black Americans are as mixed as any other group across the world. So what's the beef then between Coloureds and black Americans? Is it because colored people were positioned as a buffer between white and black in apartheid's racial hierarchy of privilege, and so benefited at the back of blacks or African people? Is Tyla a victim of history she didn't write? Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to this channel.